Okay, everybody, 8.5 today for Pre-Algebra Math Part 1. And we have slope-intercept form of a line, 36-point skill sheet here for classwork. No notebook points today. Teachers, here is today's bell work for your students. They got to find slope here between these 2 points, and then the slope of the theta point 0, 0 is 2, which point is also on the line. A different way of looking at slope here. Give your students 5-6 minutes for this. Okay, welcome back. So for number 1, we have rise over run, difference of y over x. So here are 2 points, 2 y's here for that. And we get rise over run, 4 minus the negative 14, 5 over negative 1. Then we get 18 over 6 here, and then that is a slope of 3 for number 1. So it'll be D for number 1. Number 2, rise over run again, difference of y over difference of x. So we have a 0, 0, we're at the origin, and 4 minus 0 over 2 minus 0. We're going to shoot for a slope of 2 here, which we get, so it will be 2 and 4 would be that, and that would be G for number. Okay, into our lesson. You use intercepts to graph linear equations. You'll graph linear equations, the slope-intercept. The graph of y equals 2x plus 3 is shown here. Y equals 2x plus 3. What do you notice about this graph? We have a y-intercept here of 3. When x equals 0, y equals 3. So we know that much. What's our x-intercept? Well, that's a little bit more thought-provoking. We substitute 0 in for y. Well, let's get to it here. You can see that the line's y-intercept is 3. The line slope m is 2. Here's our slope over 1 up 2. Rise over run. So we go up 2 and then over 1. So it'll be 2 over 1 for our slope. And that's our slope. Notice that the slope is equal to the coefficient of x. So here's our slope here. Here's m here. Y equals 2x plus 3. Here's our slope. Also notice that the y-intercept is equal to the constant term in the equation. Yeah, it is. Right here. Here is our y-intercept. When x equals 0, y equals 3. Isn't that cool? Okay, slope-intercept form, linear equation of form y equals mx plus b is said to be in slope-intercept form. The slope is m, and the y-intercept is b. Algebra y plus b. Our first example here, identify slope and y-intercept of the line given. Here it is here. So write the equation y equals x minus 4 is y equals 1x plus 4. You have an implied coefficient here of 1 plus a negative 4. The line has a slope of 1. Here's m, and a y-intercept of negative 4. Here's our y-intercept here. That's one way of looking at it. How about this one? So to do this one, write the equation in slope-intercept form, solving for y. So we have to isolate our y. So solving for y, you move over our x, or 3x, move it over, and then we divide through by 5. So now it's in slope-intercept. Here's our slope, and then here's our y-intercept. Negative 3/5 and y-intercept of 2. Okay, now our turn. Identify slope and y-intercept of the line with this given equation. Students, this is yours. Pay attention. So y equals 4x. This is our equation here. 4x plus 0. You might as well put a 0 in. So we have a y-intercept of 0. So m is 4. So line has a slope of 4. And a y-intercept of 0. So that's one way of looking at it. Students, this is all you. Onward. Graphing the equation of slope-intercept. Here's our slope-intercept here. Here's your grid for this, students. Be prepared. The y-intercept is 4, so plot the point 0, 4, which would be where? Up there. 0, 4 would be there. And then our slope here is negative 2/3. So starting at 0, 4, plot another point by moving right 3 units. 1, 2, 3, and then down 2, 1, 2. So this will be our next point here. That'd be a way to plot that point. So this is what your graph should look like. Students, I want you to graph it over here. This is good practice for you to plot these 2 points and then run a line through it. Okay, our next guided practice, just graph this. Basically, students, this is yours by itself. Identify y-intercept. Use slope and y-intercept to graph the equation. So what's our y-intercept up here? We got to solve for y first. So y equals 1/2 x minus 1. Here would be our y-intercept, and then here is our slope. So we have 1/2 x plus a -1. This isolates it better for you to find it out. So slope of 1/2, y-intercept of -1. So here's our y-intercept, and then our slope is rise over run. So we have a run of 2 and a rise of 1. So that would be our x-intercept up here as well, by the way. So anyway, there is your plot, there is your graph of this equation up here. And that is 8.5, part 1. Part 2, part 3, email me for that. Thank you.